Hey guys, Whitney here. Welcome to another episode of the Ash Wealth Show. We do this show every single week, and it's for you. If you've ever tried to buy a rental real estate before but got stuck in analysis paralysis and lost your confidence, or maybe you've actually invested in a few rentals and just hit that ceiling of growth and performance in your portfolio, or maybe you're just so overwhelmed by all the information out there and you're just plain stuck. You don't even know how to get started. If this is if any of this applies to you, then you are in the right place, whether you've never purchased real estate before or you have several under your belt. You see, I was like you once. I started off my real estate investing journey in 2002, living, flipping, and house hacking. And we did quite well, building up buckets of capital. But the problem was, is I didn't have control of my time. I didn't have financial independence. I didn't even know how to do that. And once I finally figured out how to create passive cash flow through rental real estate, that's when the portfolio growth took off for myself and my husband. And this picture just demonstrates exactly why I invest in rental real estate. Is so I can have the time back to spend with the people I love, make the impact in the world that I want to make, and just travel and experience everything. And I bet you that you share some of those same motives. But it's like a pyramid. We have quite a sizable portfolio here today, but none of this was actually possible until I figured out how to get those first 30 BRRRR properties under my belt, utilizing other people's financing. It's really that core portfolio, building that solid portfolio of 30 properties, and honestly probably could have gotten away with 20, that really helped blow open the doors for me on being able to step into building a much larger asset acquisition. And you know what? We did this initial build all while working a normal day job, being a wife, being a mom, and taking care of family. And I know a lot of you guys actually struggle with the exact same thing. So what I do here on the Asheville Show is just to help you guys demystify the process a little bit and really fully understand that this is something that you can do for yourself as well. But you could be anywhere spending your time. And what makes what I'm going to share today so different? Well, it's a system that I have, and I've discovered the system over 18 years in investing. And it wasn't perfect from the beginning. I had to figure this out over time. And that is the coolest thing about working with mentors and coaches, and finding just that experienced investor in your space, the person who has the results that has already achieved the results that you want to see in your life, and partnering with them is because you can actually collapse time, right? And do this for yourself so much faster and quicker. Stand on the shoulders of giants. So let's talk about what I've learned in the last 18 years. Well, you have to have a very specific type of roadmap in order to succeed in real estate investing. Okay. Anybody can buy a rental, but if you are yearning for financial independence, time freedom, and how to leverage your assets, you've got to have the right roadmap that will get you to financial independence in a fraction of the time. But that's not all. I think a lot of people understand, the knowledge here that they have to have, and then, generally having a roadmap, but then you have to be able to build repeatable systems and put the right people to manage those systems on your team. And then if you're really looking to scale, kind of like what I've done, you have to get really savvy on how to use other people's money. And OPM is kind of like a cool term, other people's money, but this can even just mean bank money. How do we actually use bank money effectively and efficiently to accelerate our wealth build? Okay. And the culmination of this plan that I've put together for you guys is that I actually have 100% choice on how I spend my time. I get to choose to spend my time here with you. And that's what makes life so fun. So let's dive into one of the secrets. If you guys have watched several of the other Ashwell shows, here today, I'm just going to impart kind of like a little pearly nugget that you can slide into your current investing plan. Or if you're looking for a much larger solution here, hang on the line as well. So today we're going to tackle how to build a lead funnel and close deals. Okay. So this is the lifeblood of any business, is learning how to build a lead funnel. I don't care what business you're in. You can have a lawn care business. You can have be running a pharmacy. It doesn't matter. The lifeblood of the business is the lead, okay? In those businesses, it might be the lead as a customer. In this case, the lead in a real estate business is the asset lead, okay? So lead funnel, let's define that a little bit, okay? Well, essentially the lead funnel, when we're talking about a funnel, is a plan to get you started. You need to have that plan. You need to have a system to get started and a system to scale. That's what the lead funnel will help give you, okay? Eventually, once you kind of get your lead funnel dialed in, you can then delegate it to somebody else to manage for you, okay? So even creating more leverage in your business. All right. When you're first starting off your lead funnel, it can be a little clunky and overwhelming at first. I remember when I first kind of kicked off my lead funnel in Indianapolis. Okay. But if you are thinking about how to always optimize your funnel, and we'll talk about how to do that here later on, you can really start getting this built up pretty quickly. Okay. And again, get to that delegation phase much sooner. So we're going to tackle how to get leads, how to analyze the deal, okay, from a very high level, okay. And in the lead funnel, you're also going to propose offers and seal the deal, okay. Now we're going to dive into, how to craft offers and, seal the deal more in depth in later episodes. But really, we're starting at the top of that funnel, okay. This skill alone is the one that keeps investors sidelined and unsuccessful in real estate, okay. Now that's after, do they have the right plan? Are they in the right investment strategy? I'm talking about the skill, right? You can have your strategy and vision, right? But if you don't build this one skill and do it correctly, and master it, you might find yourself stuck for a while. Okay, so let's talk about how to get leads. There's several different sources for us on how to get leads. Let's tackle some, retail websites. I think, most people have actually seen these all over the internet, but the thing is they don't exactly cross-pollinate each other very well. So it's worthwhile to set up a system in your inbox where you have all these leads coming into your inbox and go to, say like a folder in your Gmail folder. Okay, that way you can just get up in the morning, spend 15, 20 minutes reviewing all the leads that have come into your inbox. All right, staying organized is key. So where can you get retail leads from? Well, the multiple listing service in your area, okay? If you're not a realtor yourself, then you're going to need to pair with a realtor to get access to that. All right, Zillow.com is another good one. Redfin.com, all right, Trulia is another good one. Realtor.com, all right. Now, those guys, Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, Realtor.com, tend to pull from the local multiple listing services, okay? But people can also list their for sale by owners on these sites, okay? So it's worthwhile setting up all these electronic leads, okay? Especially getting into for sale by owners. A lot of people try to sell their real estate on their own. I have sold, out of the 10 properties that I've sold, more single family residences, I've only used a realtor one time. All the other times have been for sale by owner. Okay, so so many transactions actually don't occur with a realtor, and I think that's very mind-blowing for most investors to realize that. All right, now if we're kind of like venturing into maybe more small multifamily or package deals, it's worthwhile to add LoopNet, Cruxy, SBN to your deal search. Maybe even say like Marcus and Millichamp, Cushman and Wakefield, and Colliers, depending on the size of the portfolio you're looking to purchase. But these are some great, electronic leads that you can set up for yourself. Now, you want to pick, if you're looking for single family homes and you're not looking for a portfolio of single family homes, make sure you're using like the Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, Realtor multiple listing service. If you're wanting more multifamily or alternative investments, then look at the LoopNet, Cruxy, and SBN. Make sure you set up your lead search on the right platform. All right, next, off-market listings. Okay, now remember, I think I saw the statistic one time, I think it's upwards of like 65% of transactions, real estate transactions, occur off-market. Okay, so that is a stat to keep in your head, right? If you are only working through a realtor and the realtor is only the only person sending you leads, you're only looking at a fraction of what's actually transacting out there. So other things that you can do, you can talk to your realtor about, did they have any pocket listings? These are things that, come in and they know it's going to be a hot deal, and that realtor will present it to investors or people they know they're going to buy first. So they don't actually have to pay for all the marketing around the listing. Or maybe they have a connection they've been developing and they know they're going to sell. Okay. So, pocket listings, okay, relationships, their case in order to get pocket listings. Turnkey providers. Now, they're a whole type of asset class in and of themselves, but a turnkey provider generally is not listing their property on the MLS, especially in a hot market. They can sell directly to the investor. All right. So, building out a list of turnkey providers, wholesale providers. Now, state to state, there's some legality of like what the wholesaler can and can't do for you when transacting, but you can definitely work with the wholesaler. These people are really great at finding below market deals and bringing in, essentially connecting investor to seller. All right. And they typically will bring deals that need some love. They're not exactly in great repair or anything like that. There's generally a problem to be solved on the property. I've had great luck finding wholesalers at conferences, RIA groups, as well as like just on Facebook. Property management. If you already have a portfolio of properties, in an area, talk to your property manager. You remember your property manager knows which owners had just had an eviction or have some high capex happening on their properties. They know who just got cited on their properties. They know which investors are struggling, and they potentially can be a source of leads for you as well. Lenders, agencies, REO type homes. So, lenders, especially like hard money lenders, private money lenders, they can be a good source for leads too. Because remember, they're holding the note on the property. They know if the borrower is not going to perform, they will try to sell that note to somebody else before that note defaults. Remember, lenders don't want to actually own the home. They just want the cash flow coming in. So, developing relationships there can be key. Talking to other investors, going to your local RIA groups. You see other investors, every investor has their season in their investing career. So, in case in point for me, like I started selling off some of my early single family homes in order to scale up into some smaller multifamily deals. So, properties turn over all the time. You can, there's Facebook listings that you can go through. Then you have like other just kind of like real estate portals. There's listings on BiggerPockets, Roost.com, Auction.com. Another is Hubzu. That's another auction site. Another place to look is HomePath. HomePath is, our homes that are FHA eligible. So usually they're going to try to go to the first-time home buyer. I think they have to be listed to them for about 30 days, and then the investor can come in and bid on them. So there's a ton of sites out there to get off-market listings. Then we got like our more creative strategies. These are the ones that require a lot of hustle and grit, but they can be very fruitful for helping you build a portfolio. And, these are really great strategies for finding below market deals, but you know what? You would be really surprised on how many stabilized properties you can actually find this way. The whole part with the creative strategy is you're actually trying to insert yourself earlier in the sales process and get direct to the seller. So driving for dollars. You could drive around your local area. Like if you're investing locally, you can fly into your market and drive around. There's a neat little app called Deal Machine that will actually help you send marketing materials to the owner, right there, from your phone. You can actually leverage other people to do this for you. Maybe they're a Uber driver or Lyft driver. They can actually help, drive for dollars for you. You can do that as well. Lists. There's a website called List Source. You can pull lists that are, people who've gone through, who just filed for probate. There's been a death in the family. Maybe there's a divorce list, foreclosure, owners that have high home equity. Um, Maybe they just can't refinance or sell their property because they feel stuck. Maybe there's a lot of work that needs to be done on the property. You can also pull a list for out-of-state landlords. You can also find similar type of listings with the courthouse filings. Now these list source websites, they're pulling a lot of their data from the courthouse filings. If you do your own list of the courthouse filings, it's probably going to be more current, but pulling a well-curated list can actually be very cost effective. And then you've got relationships, partners. How can you develop some key relationships in the area of people that are actually connected to motivated sellers? People that, sellers that are going through some sort of like financial distress, emotional distress, even property distress. So, lawyers, construction companies, foundation crews, water damage type crews. I even, like working with people that deal in elder care, be it elder care lawyers, or like a senior move manager or somebody like that. Okay. This is again trying to develop relationships with partners in the community that are hearing about people having problems, and you can, as the investor, can be the solution to their problem. All right. And then we're going to tap on analyze. Now, we're not going to go so deep into how do you analyze a deal, but that is the next part of the lead funnel. You can get all these leads into your inbox, but then what do you do with them? You've got to run them through an initial base criteria. Okay. So I make sure that you've got a handy calculator, that you're very familiar with it and you can work it fast. One of my favorite calculators is DealCheck.io, because I can actually input all my criteria into DealCheck.io, import the property, and it'll run some quick numbers for me, and it literally gives me a red light and a green light. Okay, so if I got a green light, I can dig in really quickly. If I get a red light, I want to look, where am I getting my red light with? Okay, so this requires you to set your investment criteria. Okay, not only for the type of property in the market you're in. Are you looking for a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 2-bath, 1,000 square feet? What type of property are you looking for? Do you only want duplexes, triplexes, quads? Make sure you set your investment criteria. And then, I'm gonna expand a little bit on this criteria. Once you kind of have the actual property criteria, maybe even where it's located in the town, that's your high level filtration, right? You don't want to be doing deep analysis on properties that are not in the market areas that you want to purchase in. Okay. Then you're going to get into analyzing the deal, and then do they meet your underwriting metrics? So cash on cash. All right. What kind of cash on cash return are you getting? What kind of cash flow are you getting? Are you only getting $10 cash on cash, but are you getting an infinite return on cash, but it's only $10 a month? That might be a little bit challenging, a little bit kind of high risk underwriting. Know your returns that you want to hit. Also understand the debt service coverage ratio. I've touched on this in other videos, but we want to make sure we're keeping that debt service coverage ratio at 1.25 or higher, right? And that's going to play into our financing terms. Okay, so you want to also plug in what kind of financing can you expect. 30-year amortization. Are you looking at 5/1, 10/1 adjustable arms? Are you looking, what type of financing rates are you looking for? What kind of down payment are you going to need to bring, both in percentage and the amount down? All right. And then, are you estimating a rehab? Is the property, there's no sense in analyzing a property if you don't want to do a rehab and it's going to need $50,000 in order to be rented. All right. That's outside your buy box. You can move on. All right. All this is to say is to make informed decisions. Right. And then you may find that when you analyze the property, the numbers still don't work. Okay. Now, This is where I see a lot of investors, kind of shoot themselves in the foot a little bit, is that they'll move on to the next deal and they're like, no deal's ever working. A, a deal will always work at a certain number. You just need to find that number that the deal does work at. All right. Once you find that number, then you can start, kind of stress testing your deal and then making offers. Okay. Even if your first few offers are super low, you are going to get so much valuable feedback from working with, sellers, with the realtor, and understanding what truly is transacting in that market. Okay. If you never get to the offer stage, you can never get a yes. Somebody can never tell you, yes, I will sell you the property. You have to get to the offer stage. All right. We've covered a lot. All right. I know this is only part of the deal funnel, but let's dive into a challenge here. So I want you to go back through this webinar. All right. And I want you to pick at least 5 retail sites to set up. Okay. Remember, don't have these leads coming directly to your inbox. Set up a tag and put them in a folder. That way you can maybe pick at least 1 time a day, if not 2 times a day, to go through those listings in there. Okay. Let the sites work for you. All right. So, adjust it by the number of beds, the number of bath, the price range. Okay. Continue optimizing and adjusting until you can get this funnel, dialed in and you're only getting the leads that really work for you. All right. Pick 3 of the off-market listing strategies and start pursuing them. All right. Again, the more we can throw in the top of the funnel, the more likely you're going to have things filter out for you. And then pick one of the creative tactics. All right. Maybe it's most people will start leaning into partners in the area. That's a good place to start. All right. Then that's not it. Right. Set this all up. And then make a date with yourself, a meeting with yourself every single day, something you can hold sacred. And maybe it's just even getting up 15 minutes earlier to do this, okay? And analyzing everything while everybody's sleeping. But make at least a minimum goal of analyzing 1 lead a day. That's 7 leads a week. And then, 31 leads a month, okay? Even just 1, all right? Again, what we're trying to do is form the habit. And I bet you do more than 1 whenever you sit down, okay? So that was a lot to go through today, and I hope you would agree that this is time well spent. If you are looking for a solution and want more help doing this, if you want to understand how to collapse time and actually allow somebody who has done this before to help you, stay on the line here. We've got our Investor Accelerator Mastermind, and this is for anybody, again, who's just starting off in real estate, okay, hasn't done a deal yet, or maybe you've got a few deals under your belt and you're looking to bust through that next level of scale. All right. In any case, this is for you. And if you think of it as like a table, okay, a table has to have 4 legs in order to be stabilized, right? If you cut off any one of the legs, the table is not really very useful and it's going to tumble over and fall. And this is where I see a lot of investors get tripped up, is they don't have a 4-legged table when they're trying to build their business. So let's talk about the 4 legs. The first leg is education. You got to know what you're doing. You have to have the right education. But even then, podcasts, books, and stuff like that can only get you so far. Then you have to have the right plan. Are you in the right strategy that's going to work for you with the capital that you have, with the time that you have, with the passion that you have? We help you build this business strategy right from the very beginning. Remember, I told you over 18 years of investing, it's the plan is where a lot of people get tripped up. Then you have to be able to execute. And how can we do that smartly, efficiently, and effectively? And that is building systems in a team. All right. And we teach you exactly how to do that. We hand over a lot of our systems to you right off the bat so you don't even have to recreate them. All right. And then it's about, how do I scale? Okay. So we actually wrap around you a wealth of support to help you scale. So, we're going to, do business building meetings every single month. We're going to help you build your network every single month and build your investor knowledge. And we're going to also continue to, tackle tough topics on how to use other people's money in order to scale. We also have our Ask Me Anything sessions every single week that you can tap into, and then also our community forum. just imagine with this type of education plan systems and support, how far could you really scale? I mean, I just did a tally last year in the middle of a pandemic and a financial crisis. Our group purchased over 257 units. Okay, it can be done. All right, so let me show you how. So jump on here, go to, whoop, I always do that. I click the wrong button, but go to ashwealth.com/apply. And then you can actually fill out a 10-second application, and then we can schedule some time and make sure that this solution is the right one for you. Well, thank you so much for joining today. We look forward to hearing from you and have a blessed day.